Donald Trump wasn't only asked about Judge Curel on the Sunday shows. In that interview with John Dickerson on Face the Nation, Trump was presented with statements he made 5 years ago supporting the use of American military force to oust Muammar Gaddafi in Libya, despite Trump's frequent claims now that he's always been against that kind of intervention. Here's a sense over the years of what Trump has said about this topic.
He said I was in favor of Libya. I never discussed that subject.
Gaddafi in Libya is killing thousands of people.
When you say I supported Libya?
Yeah, you supported intervention in Libya.
I did? Where do you see that?
We should go in. We should stop this guy, which would be very easy and very quick. We could do it surgically.
You were for intervention. Just to clear that up.
I was for doing something, but I wasn't for what you have right now.
We would have been better off if the politicians took a day off instead of going into war.
We should do, on a humanitarian basis, immediately go into Libya, knock this guy out very quickly, very surgically, very effectively.
You said you weren't for intervention, but you were for intervention in Libya.
I didn't mind surgical, and I said surgical. You do a surgical shot and you take him out. But I wasn't for what happened. I could have seen surgical where you take out Gaddafi and his group. I was in favor of Libya. We would be so much better off if Gaddafi were in charge right now.
So, John, that 2011 footage of Trump supporting intervention in Libya was reported back in February, but no one asked him about it until now. What does the fact that this Libya thing is getting attention currently, although overshadowed by the judge controversy, what does that say about the kind of scrutiny Trump's now facing and will face?
Well, not surprisingly, he's getting more scrutiny, as happens with every person who becomes the presumptive nominee of their party. The scrutiny level goes up, and it goes up in a way that most politicians do. Even if they think they've had a lot of scrutiny, they get a different level of scrutiny. It also is the case, I believe, that across our profession, people have looked back on the Republican nomination fight and concluded that not that somehow that the press enabled Trump and allowed him to become the Republican nominee, but that they looked at it and said, you know, we didn't get this quite exactly right. We got to get better at this. We got to figure out how to question him better, how to hold him to account with things he said in the past. This thing that Dickerson did and others have now started to do, of playing video for him. I think you're going to see that a lot. We're trying to learn our lessons and get better at our jobs collectively, I think.
You're going to see people from the Bush campaign, the Rubio campaign, the Cruz campaign, others say, oh, why didn't the press do a better job? Part of the answer is, yes, the press should have done a better job. Although with 17 candidates, you got to investigate everybody and do due diligence. But part of it is they did not have the kind of research operations and the kind of consistency and discipline to go after Trump on these things. I think that you're going to see more stuff about Hillary Clinton. We'll talk about that.
For sure.
You're going to see more stuff about Trump. And as is always the case, it's how you handle it. Much more than the underlying videotape, much more than the underlying inconsistencies. And the way he's handling this is the way he handles lots of things, is to simply deny the truth.
Yes, and that is a problem, a big problem.